What's up everyone, this is Dexion the Gamer and I'm back today with another launch, and this release is Aphelion, or Aphelion, however you pronounce it. And it's another Unreal Engine 5 based game. It's featuring RT global illumination through Lumen, and also geometry is featured through Nanite, so that's typical UE5's, lighting and geometry stuff going on here. And so without further ado, let's get into our settings so we can get a baseline of performance here. I'm going to be playing at a resolution of 4K, and we're going to be using maximum settings. Everything is just going to be set towards the highest preset here, everything stretched out. I'm going to be starting off with DLAA and no frame gen. This game does not have multi-frame gen, so it's just going to be the typical 2x that we used to get on older titles. And that's pretty much it, so let's get into it. Alright, so the first thing you're going to notice is the frame rate jumps all over the place on this scene here. And there just doesn't seem to be a whole lot going on at this scene. The model textures look really high quality, but I just don't see why it's dropping down into the 50s, 49 frames per second. So this game, 39, come on. You can't be serious. This is not path tracing, so don't look. I don't want to see 30s. I don't ever want to see 30s. And see, now it's just popped up to the 70s. So the game looks like it could use some optimization, even if it is just for this opening scene here.
Ari, please. I know you felt it too. Like no time has passed at all.
Nothing's changed for me since the last time we talked about this. It doesn't matter what I feel.
And I still don't understand.
That's how it has to be, Thomas. This mission comes first. Thomas. Thomas, come in. Please, answer me.
Okay, so we're finally able to gain control of the character here, and the performance is as follows. Frame rates are still hovering around the 50s, and I'm just not going to really call that too optimized. I mean, the game does look really good. It looks really cinematic, especially in these opening scenes here. But the cost of performance is just, it just seems a little bit too much to me. I think they could have done a little bit better as far as optimizing and everything else. The 1% lows aren't bad. The 1% lows are in the 40s, and some other games the 1% lows were down to half. GPU power is in the 3 to 400s, which is, I guess that's normal for me because my 5090 is undervolted. GPU utilization is in 98, 99%, and I am using OBS to record, so that's fine. Everything else looks okay. VRAM used is about 10 or 8 to 10 gigs. Latency is in the 50s, which is pretty typical for this kind of frame rate. And so, yeah, typical copy pasta, UE5. I don't know what to say about it.
How do I get back up? Does my navigator still work? there. I can get out that way.
Alright, so now we just enabled frame generation on top of DLAA, so that's native. And we are able to break the 100 frames per second barrier. So not too much overhead with Framegen active, which is a good thing, I guess. And our 1% lows are around 78 frames per second, 76. The latency is pretty much the same as it was before, if not just slightly lower, which honestly is a really good thing. I'm not seeing any major graphical or image quality artifacts, no weird ghosting going on or anything else like that. So using frame generation on top of native, even though you shouldn't have to, it is a good option if you want to just get that super fluid frame rate. And this scene looks really good right here, as you can see when she was grappling on. That looks really, really cinematic and high quality. So I can't give the game too much grief, I guess, when it comes to performance, because the lighting is great, the shadows look great, the global illumination looks really good. I don't know. What do you guys think? Alright, so we just enabled DLSS Quality from the settings menu, and we're now looking at frame rates in the 90s to 100s, and this is with frame generation off. So interestingly, you get close to a 2x as far as performance here, you know, about maybe 70 plus performance on average just from enabling DLSS Quality. And this is using preset K, by the way. So not too bad. All right, so we are dipping down a little bit now into the 80s, but this is where we were at before once we enabled frame generation on top of native. Can't really see any degradation in image quality, so I would say this is a pretty good move right here. Latency is also really good. It's around 40 milliseconds, which was lower than what we had before. And the 1% lows are really good also, 70s, so you know, not too much as far as any kind of hiccups or frames dips or anything else like that. So it gets better, I guess.
Where are you? I'll find you.
Alright, so now let's just kick on frame generation on top of DLSS Quality just to see what it's going to look like. And as you guys can see right here, there is a little bit of Tomb Raider-esque and Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon Forbidden West platforming going on here with like the little yellow tabs and things like that on the platforms. So that's pretty cool. Anyways, we're getting about 130 to 140 frames per second. And our latency is holding strong at actually under 40 milliseconds of input lag. So this is actually lower than what we were seeing previously with just using DLSS Quality. So this is now what, the 4th or 5th title that when I update the DLLs to 3.10.6, make sure that using the latest DLL for frame generation, that we're able to see a reduction in latency. Now, I actually did the test to, mash some buttons to see if it's just a bug in reflex or if it's actually higher than what it was before. And to be honest, I can't tell a difference with, tapping on the controller and seeing the response. So I honestly just don't know what to say about it anymore.
Looks like nothing was spared. Thomas, I'm inside. Can you hear me?
So I wanted to zoom in on this part here where she has a flashlight that's bouncing around in different shapes and things, and I think they did a really good job with the shadows here. I will say that. And again, we're using DLSS Quality with 2x Framegen. Shadows don't look ridiculously low resolution, and they look good on the quality setting, just as good as DLAA, and they look accurate. So this is a good representation of how indirect lighting works, aka global illumination. And yeah, this is pretty impressive. However, it does not stay impressive if you lower the render resolution, as you're about to see right now. So we're going to go down to DLSS Performance, and this is preset M, using 4.5's preset M, which is optimized for performance. And as you can see, the shadows looked really reduced in quality. The tops looks okay from a distance, but as you get closer, you can see a little bit of jagged edge stuff going on. Some aliasing issues, especially with the lighting. And it does really good on like face, the model textures and everything else, but those finer details, DLSS Performance kind of just falls back as far as image quality. So I would not recommend using Performance. I would recommend using Balance at the least, because Balance pretty much looks like quality at this point. Yeah, you can even see it here. The shadows have those aliased edge, those ladder steps, and it is distracting. It kind of just ruins from the scenery here, because otherwise this is a really nice looking scene.
Finally, the engine room.
And just to finish things off, we're going to use DLSS Performance Model M with frame generation. And this is where things get a little bit awkward, because we were doing about 90 frames per second previously using Performance, and now we're really struggling to get past 160 frames per second. Don't know what's going on here, but I mean, even with, the whole DLSS Performance thing in this game, I just wouldn't recommend Performance at all. If you are on a lower end GPU, such as a 5070 or 5060, I would stick to DLSS Balanced and just use frame generation. You don't really need super high frame rates in this game. It's a very slow paced game with a couple of button times where you have plenty of time to react to it. So it's not like it's a shooter or anything else like that. But with that being said, thank you so much for joining me with this video and this presentation. I hope you guys got some value out of it. Please do consider giving me a like and throwing me a sub. I would really appreciate it, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Peace out.